Welcome to Center Hice Productions. It is November 30th, 2023. This is a review of Florida coming to Montreal, the game tonight. Please first hit the likes and the subscribe down below in the right-hand corner. I would muchly appreciate it. All right, this is going to be a fast one because it was not much of a game. I projected it to be a 4-1, 4-2 loss, and it was a 5-1 loss. I was close. So anyway, 5-1 total score. Florida just totally outplayed us. They were just too much. The amount of turnovers the Habs had was just outrageous. And Primeau, I'm sorry to say, he was pretty solid for 2 periods for the most part. But all the goals, you could see the softness. Once they figured out to put it up top on him, there was just too many soft goals. And I think this was what showed you. Yes, he's improved. He's not NHL material. So here's how it starts. No goals in the first period. 1-0 in the second period for Florida, and Florida scores 4 goals in the third period. The Habs just totally collapsed in the third period, and the Habs managed to get one by Kovacevic. So it was 5-1 was your final score. Just not a real good showing by the Habs, display-wise. Cole Caulfield started to play a bit better as in different moments, but boy, the amount of turnovers he had, I wouldn't be bragging. The bad news in this game is we lost Newhook in this game with an injury to his leg. The way he crashed into the net looked like his leg got tangled into the net somehow and bent the wrong way. Okay, so we're going to start off this with just the quick stats because this was not even exciting. Barkov, of course, he's always instrumental against the Habs, and Florida just seems to have the Habs number. First star, 1 goal, 1 assist, +2. Versace, 1 goal, 1 assist, and he was even. And Bobrovsky, 21 saves, 1 goal against, 0.955. Scoring summary. First period, no scoring. Second period, Alexander Barkov, unassisted. And you just can't let Barkov go in that way. Just wasn't pretty, and it should have been caught. And that's what I'm saying. Primeau is all the goaltenders we have seem to go down too much. However, the other 2 goaltenders can catch a puck. He's just that much extra soft between his glove and his blocker. So it's great when everything's low. He's fine. So anyway, third period, Sam Bennett comes through. He had a pretty strong game as well. Versace assisted it. And that was at 8 seconds into the third period. It's just ridiculous how fast they scored. And then Yvonne Rodriguez scores, assisted by Sam Reinhardt. And of course, Barkov scores or assisted that one as well. Sorry, that was at 3:12. Carter Versace finally gets his goal, assisted by Anton Lundell, assisted by Evan Rodriguez on the power play, and there was a few power plays. However, we didn't capitalize on ours as usual. At 9:30, Jonathan Kovacevic scores, assisted by Cole Caulfield, and Evans gave us at least broke the egg. At 19:49, it wasn't over yet. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and these assisted by Kulikov and Cousins. And the goals were just far too soft. So total stats, here we go. 29 shots for Florida, 22 for the Habs. That wasn't that big of a drastic difference. Hits 15-14 for Florida. Face-offs 23-31. The Habs did well in that department. Power play 1 for 4 for Florida. 0-for-6 for the Habs. This is just ridiculous. That's why I say, for people to have seen us go over there in a stretch for 2 or 3 games, maybe with a goal, it wasn't solid. It was like we'd score a goal or 2 in 2 games. in the power play, and then we go drought. Then no points again, and then we'd go back and get a point or two, and then all of a sudden we're back to our normal 4 or 5 games, no points in there. So 17 penalty minutes. The Florida had more than us. We had 13. Giveaways 19 for Florida, 13 for the Habs. You wouldn't have thought that if you were watching it. Although good veteran squad like theirs, they're playing solid. They're going to make you pay for any turnovers. Takeaways 10-7 for the Habs. Block shots 15-13 for the Habs. So we had Florida had 3 power play or penalties in at 0.37 seconds, 7:56, and then Gustav Forsland and Mike Matheson had coinciding penalties against each other. We always seemed to be blowing it when we had an opportunity. Second period penalties: Anton Landell, Cole Caulfield, Caden Gooley, and Aaron Ekblad, and then third period Gallagher for interference with goaltender, and Kevin Shenlin, and then Gujovic fighting against Josh Anderson. And that was probably the most exciting point of the game, was the fight. And this is what Josh Anderson should have been doing all season long. If he's not going to use something, when you don't have Jack, especially, but he can't be relied upon one player either. So this needs to be more of that from Josh. I mean, you're not producing, but you're a big boy. You need to go stand up for your team. So this was, I commended Josh for doing that much, because he didn't have a strong game. Yeah, he had an okay game, but I think his frustration boiled over. Although it looked like Gustav, what's his name? That Russian guy named Gujovic. Looked like he was after Anderson, and Anderson, boy, did he just unload on him. Good fight. He was just corking him left, right, and center, although he started to wear down, and then Gujovic started to come on a little bit. So two heavyweights, but a good showing, and I would like to have seen a little more representation that way for some of the cheap shots that were happening. Like, was Struble not brought up to show some uh, toughness? I don't see it. He throws a couple hits in the game. I still don't see it. I'm sorry. I don't know quite if we're going to have to worry about him taking a spot, because I just don't see it. He's all right. It's not a total knock, but toughness, I don't see it. He's nothing special in that department from what I can see, and I would like to see him. If you're brought in to replace a guy like Jack Guy, there was so much bragging about him down in Laval. Yeah, just getting into a brawl. Drop the gloves. Try to change the momentum of your team, especially when there's some cheap shots here and there going on. Anywho, at least Josh did it tonight. I commend him for that. However, his game is just not there. It's just not there. It's just really sad to watch. I think he needs to be sat or put on the fourth line, and I think he needs to be taken off the power play. Sorry to say it. Stop giving him the overload of minutes. He's got to get a message and he's also got to get they also got to show example that nobody can play this way and get away with it. So it was a disgraceful game all the way around. I think Gooley was half decent, probably the best defenseman out there. Matheson was all right, but it's a defensive zone for Matheson that is problematic. But they all seem to make mistakes in the defensive end. Kovacevic, I think, had the strongest game, to tell you the truth, between him and Gooley. I think they were the strongest two. Barron made some mistakes. Wasn't that overly impressed. I just wasn't overly impressed with their defense at all. And like I said, for Primeau, it was all going fine because he was getting a lot of shots low as Florida clued into it. And it seems like this happens every time he's in the net. Even though, I think organizations know that we're a little weak high, but they know he's extremely weak high. And once they started putting high on him, sorry, this guy, he seems like the nicest kid. He's not in NHL material. They got to make a decision. They got to do something soon and get back to a two-goal center system. However, I like the loss because I called it. I was only off by a goal, and I think it's great for us to tank because we need to get one of those top three players. I just hope it pushes us down, and then we. That's just my hope and thought. I'm assuming we're going to see Allen against Detroit. That's going to be a big challenge. It just seems like I don't know. We'll see what happens. But tonight's showing wasn't impressive. Now we got to pray to God that we haven't lost because I haven't heard any reports yet. I'm sure there could be something being reported as I was making this tape. How bad Newhook didn't look good when he had to be helped by his teammates off the ice. Um, God help us if we have him go down as well. I mean, I know he's not a superstar, but he was one of the three or four that were producing. So it's going to be quite an interesting loss of another player. I don't know what type of curse is on us, but there's a curse. So, with that being said, poor game played by us. We were just outplayed. I didn't. I think Gallagher had a half decent game. Um, Slab didn't play too bad. He played all right. He actually made some nice setups. But anyway, Bobrovsky was very much on his game. So that was the problem. They couldn't crack him. They're having a hard time. And I mean, the amount of point blank shots that are being missed is ridiculous. And like I say, when you look at it, it's our defense that's scoring. So something's got to give with our forwards. There's got to be a big wake-up call. I know we did notice that they threw Suzuki and Caulfield back together in the third period, and actually put Monahan up with him when Newhook went down. So this might be an interesting line. This might get that first line going again, is what I'm thinking. The Slab line is fine, although we're going to lose Caulfield, so there we go for line two. So that's going to be another problem. I just hope they don't put Anderson on that second line. Please, God, help us. Keep him away from the second line. Put Yolonen in there with Slavkovsky and Dvorak if you're going to take Monahan up onto the first line. Uh, or, or do you, yeah, that's pretty much all you really can do. Right now, we just don't have a lot of options. Uh, I don't know. It's just sad to watch the state of the team. But I'm sorry. I think that it's clear as day. Primeau is. You can say what you want about him. He's at least not losing the net anymore, which is good to see compared to what he did last year and the years before. He's just way too soft up top, and he seems too fragile. So to me, I think your decision's made. If you were practical, but if you're like me, try to get rid of Jake Allen so that you got Monty and Primeau, and you'll lose a lot of games with Primeau. So that's a given. He's not NHL material. So thank you for joining me. Sad. Let's pray to cross our fingers that Newhook's okay, and whoever's got the voodoo doll on us, please throw it away or burn it or do something. This is just getting outrageous with the injuries that are happening to him. We're in a bad state of affairs. Something's got to give. Um, anyway, it is what it is. If I was Hughes, I'd be starting to pull some triggers on some trades now. It is what it is. But like I said, this was the first game. At least Josh realized he wasn't helping the team any other way. He at least dropped the gloves. That was positive for what we had. So with that being said, just not a great performance whatsoever. And too many giveaways. Far too many giveaways. They were coughing up the puck a lot. So, thank you for joining me. I'm just keeping it basic. We will catch you Saturday night after Detroit's game. And maybe we'll have should be a closer game anyway. But Detroit, we did beat them last time, but that's not something that happens often. We usually have our number. But let's hope for a closer game than this. Thank you for joining me. Where's Puck Drop First? Here at Center Hice Productions. Tell your friends and family. Please hit the like and subscribe. And leave your comments. Tell me what you thought of this game. I just thought it was not all that. For me, very, very lackadaisical type game. But they couldn't solve. Bobrovsky was pretty solid. We just weren't throwing enough at him. Top goals and like that. So thank you for joining me. We will catch you in the next one. And keep it real. And go Habs, go. God bless.